Welcome once again to the 365 Retirement Podcast with the team at Rubino and Liang Wealth Partners. My name is Randy Cook. I'm here each week with Sam or Ryan or John, the team, and we talk a little bit about the things that you might be wondering about or worried about when it comes to your retirement. Sam, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Always great to be in studio talking with you about what we do, which is making sure that you are set on your way to retirement, that you're well prepared, all the things that you need to do, and then make sure all the boxes that you want to check off in retirement, we help you check off. So our specialty is helping people to and through retirement as you get older, maybe in the mid-50s, early 60s, 70s. Those are our clients, and that's our audience, and hopefully we can talk about a few things that's important to you.
Well, I was looking through the financial news, and I saw a picture of Brad Pitt in the movie Moneyball, and I thought, okay, I'm in. Did you ever see Moneyball, Sam?
I know about it. I've actually seen it in bits and pieces. I will be 100% truthful. I watched it at the movie theaters, and I fell asleep. So, but it was.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, okay.
And the concept of the whole thing was Brad Pitt was paying the manager of this baseball team, and instead of using gut feel like they always do, saying, this guy is going to be good here, and we're going to take a flyer on this guy, and we'll trade for this guy. Instead of using gut feel, which is what the industry has always used, he decided to use data. We're going to get the computers involved, and we're going to find out exactly what player will fit in this slot. Even if he's not a big name player, he does that job, and they constructed the Oakland A's like that, and they won. So the whole idea of using data over gut feel. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because there's a lot of people that use gut feel when it comes to their investments, or they just kind of wing it when it comes to their retirement plan. Is it easy when you sit down there with people and you start running reports and the data's right in front of them? Do they listen to it, or do they kind of want to go on emotion?
I was kind of, when we started this, I was wondering where we were going with this question when you talked about the movie with Brad Pitt in it.
Right.
But the reality is that, listen, emotions and gut feelings, that will work some of the time, but data will work most of the time. Okay. I remember this is kind of a funny story, sidetrack. Maybe this was before the pandemic, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago. So my cousin Ricky, great guy, he went to UPenn. And all his buddies, smart Ivy League, UPenn guys, they always go to Las Vegas every year during March Madness. And they stay at Caesars, they play some golf, they gamble a little bit, they gamble on basketball. And one year they kept asking me to go. One year I finally said, yeah, I'll go. So after golf, we go to the pool, and we're in a cabana. Now, you got to remember, this is Las Vegas. We're at the pool, and you got maybe 10 guys in a cabana, all with laptops. And I'm like, what are they doing with the laptops? We're supposed to be having a Bud Light and enjoy ourselves and, take a dip. They were all looking at, I don't know whatever they were looking at, but they were looking at all the data to bet on March Madness. And when I tell you, it was like unheard of. There's one guy, Dave, I think went 18 for 19 bets.
Wow.
Unheard of.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And these guys probably don't need the money, but they love to throw, they love to chase. But my point is, they made bets, which is generally based on gut feeling with data. And it worked. And it worked. And I would say in our business, in the money management, wealth management, retirement planning, whatever you want to call it, data supports what you are thinking may or may not happen. And it supports it, and it proves it, and mathematically tests it, rather than, hey, I feel like I should be doing this, or I feel like I should buy, or I feel like I should sell. And, our 365 retirement plan really takes a lot of information in, from how much you spend, what we think inflation is going to be for the next, 30 years based on historical data, what we think the average growth is going to be if you decide to have a 60-40 mix based on historical data. There's a lot of data that goes into that, but what it does is when we do that, it actually mathematically tests to see if what you have saved and what you want to spend and take out and withdraw every year is going to support your lifetime. And if you think about that, when you stop working, isn't that like the number one thing we all want to know? Do we save enough money? Are we going to be able to maintain our standard of living can we do this for 10 years or can we do this for 35 years? And gut feelings and emotions, again, might get you somewhere some of the time, but data is always going to back up and give you a better true indicator of what may or may not happen. So we're talking about Moneyball and, do we build the next baseball team using data? I mean, listen, it works. It works.
Well, one of the things I think about when I think about emotions is when people see the market go down and then they wonder, should I sell? And then it goes down further and then they wonder and then they think, well, it's gone down so far now. And then they kind of get paralyzed. And then
I'm at the point of no return. I'm going to hang in here now.
Why? How? I can't sell at a loss. They tell me that I can't sell at a loss. But if you go through that exercise and you try to do that, you got to be right twice. You get out at the right time, then you got to get back in at the right time. And I don't know that there's a lot of people out there that can know how to do that.
Not many. And that's not how we approach it. We approach it with data and science rather than gut feeling and emotions. And I will tell you, in the last 30 years that I've been doing this, I've seen plenty of people that have regretted making decisions on just fear. I mean, just you look back in the last 30 days, we had a week or so, 7, 8 days or so, just like nothing but this and drop of 800, 900 points a day. And I guarantee you some people have gotten out. And guess what? 3 weeks later, you're back to where it was and they were sitting in cash. So that's the problem with making really important decisions that's going to matter for the rest of your life based on emotions.
Well, we would love to put the data with your particular retirement plan. Let's run what we call our 365 retirement plan. And what we do there is figure out what we're going to do with taxes. I mean, taxes, there's a lot of data there, and figuring out, if you want to do a conversion from your 401k over to an IRA, there's got to be a schedule for that. You got to know where, your thresholds are. I mean, Sam, there's a lot of data that goes into that particular part of the planning, isn't there?
And not only that particular part of the planning, but in all of your planning. Yes, data is very key.
Well, we would love to run that data for you. If you would like to have Sam and the team sit down with you, we can set up what we call an introductory call. And it's just a phone call for 15 minutes where we get to know each other. You get your questions out on the table and say, here's what I'm wondering about. Here's what I'm worried about. Are we a good fit? And I think that that's really a very good start. And Sam, from there, after that takes place and you figure out that you're a good fit, then you sit down and you really do start running the data, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. After a 15-minute phone call, you're going to know, I'm going to know if we can bring value to your situation and address your concerns and worries. If so, listen, I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste my time. If it doesn't, right? Life's too short. So once we figure that out, if it actually, as they say, if the shoe fits, then we take a deeper dive. We set up a complimentary meeting. Oftentimes it's in my office right here in Newton, Mass. Other times, as we all know, we can work from home and do a Zoom call. And at that point, we can really take a much deeper dive and get all that data and figure out for you if you're on track or if you need to maybe, do some things different based on our recommendations. But that's sort of the start. And the end process is you have this comprehensive retirement plan full of information, recommendations that's backed by science and data that's going to tell you precisely what you can expect your retirement to look like. Yes, you know what? You can live the budget that you want to, or spend the amount of money that you want to spend every month and you'll be fine. Or, hey, you might need to cut back a little bit or work a little bit longer, but that's going to give you the opportunity to fix any potential problems now rather than doing it later.
If you wonder what your retirement's going to look like and if it's going to end up the way you want it to, let's do some math. Let's put some hard math behind it, some data behind it. And that's what the 365 retirement plan is. Give us a look on our website, 365retirement.com. There's a button there that says Talk to an Advisor. You can start right there. We appreciate you so much listening and watching, and we will get you again here next time on the 365 Retirement Podcast.